Hi, I'm Sam Flying Kite, and welcome to the horror show. This week, I'm reviewing Baghead. It came out in 2023. It's rated R, although I had a hard time finding that rating. I'm not sure why it was not on IMDb. It's about an hour and a half, and it's a 5.4 out of 10 on IMDb with about 15,000 people voting that. Budget, I couldn't find a budget, so I'm assuming it was a low budget because it's a Shutter movie, so low or tiny budget. But the box office made halfway over 6 million, so like 6,700,000 kind of thing. Yeah. So that seems like that was pretty good. It either made or got back what it used to make the movie, I guess. It's directed by Alberto Corredor. Although, yeah, this is like his first movie he's made. I don't think he made other movies, and if he did, they were small things. Freya Allan plays Iris, who's the main character. Jeremy Irvine plays Neil. Ruby Barker plays Katie, and then you have Teeter Mullen, Ann Mueller, and Ned Denahai in it, and some other actors and whatnot. But it's actually kind of interesting. So when I got married, me and my wife, she really likes Bridgerton, and when we got married, we started watching Bridgerton. And Ruby Barker is in the first season of Bridgerton. She plays Mrs. Thompson. So that's kind of interesting, finding that out. We're like watching the movie, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, that's her!" But let me get into the movie itself. Iris inherits a rundown pub from her estranged father and discovers a dark secret within its basement. Baghead, a shape-shifting creature that will let you speak to lost loved ones, but not without consequence. Although, I guess the consequence isn't like, I mean, it's like, it's a consequence, but like, it's not like the worst consequence ever, I guess, right? It's just, Anyway, I thought this movie was actually really good, really solid. Let's just get into the best and the worst thing about this movie. The best thing in this movie, in my opinion, was the story / ending and the scares. Because it has some pretty solid jump scares in the movie. I'd say another thing, though, that's really cool about it, it kind of reminds me of a little bit of The Shining in the sense of, the Torrance family goes to the hotel to basically be there for, like, the summer or the winter. And, I think it's summer, but it's all snowy, so I don't remember. And the hotel is haunted by all these ghosts, right? And kind of throughout the movie, you see the ghosts. Well, that kind of plays a little bit into this movie. And I thought that was kind of interesting because it gives off the whole, like, you're a part of this, and if and when you die, you'll be trapped here kind of thing. So that was kind of interesting, kind of seeing those moments happen. But, I mean, honestly, I thought the story was fine. It wasn't, like, the most out there crazy story ever, but, I mean, it made sense, and I liked it. And I really liked the ending. I'm not gonna say what it was, but I thought the ending was really good. But then, the worst thing about the movie was just that they used CGI, and you couldn't tell. Like, if there was fire, there was like a moment or two where it looked like it was real, but for the rest of it, it looked like it was fake, so I imagine it was probably all fake, to be honest. Which, I get, budget and whatnot. It would probably be cheaper and obviously safer to use fake fire than to use actual fire, but, doesn't look real. But, yeah, I mean, after watching this movie, I was like, wait a second, I gotta go back and look at the movies that came out, the horror movies that came out in 2023, and I mean, alright, it may not it might not be a top 5 movie, but I feel like it could. Or, like, at least top 10. I feel like it was a really good, well-made horror movie with not a lot of problems, in my opinion. I mean, it's about an hour and a half, and it doesn't really feel like a slow burn. Because it's not like things are constantly happening, but, like, I mean, more often than not. And then there's the whole, you know, the Baghead creature, which the backstory of that is kind of interesting. Although, to be fair, I feel like it's kind of BS. Like, oh, it was a person who had powers, and, you know, sure, I get the whole, like, people being abused in systems and whatnot, but, like, it's like, well, when it stopped doing it for them or whatever, then they burned her and called her a witch. And it's like, well, I mean, my personal opinion is, like, she might have already been that. Now, I guess the difference is, like, someone becoming a witch versus someone being born a witch kind of thing. Like, I guess that's an interesting concept because of the spiritual implications. But I feel like that was kind of interesting. And then the ending, like, okay, if I'm like, oh, this is a poor creature that's trapped here, then, like, you kind of feel bad for it. But then at the same time, it's like, sure, it was wronged, but then it, you know, wronged back the people by, like, bringing the plague kind of thing. Like, I feel like that's like if someone got effed over by the elites and then, like, was angry at everyone for that. Like, bro, okay. I mean, the crash out of the century, I guess. And then this is, like, locked away and imprisoned forever. Like, I mean, at that point, it's like, I mean, I think that's kind of what happens, because, like, you're a danger to people. And then the movie ends. I'm not going to say how it ends. I almost spoiled it. Whew. But it's like, okay, this could be interesting to see how it all turns out. You know, if they were to ever make a sequel, which I kind of doubt. But then again, you don't know, because it's a very interesting kind of, like, situation that person's in. Like, yeah. But anyway, is this movie worth a watch? I think so. And to think that this is a Shudder movie, like, this might, I mean, alright, Shudder cranks out movies every single year, so I'd have to see more Shudder movies from this year, but, like, as of right now, before watching more Shudder movies, this is, well, this is my favorite Shudder movie of the year, of that year, 2023. But then again, I don't think I've seen any other ones. And if I did, I don't remember. But, anyway. Sam, Flying Kite. This is, I forget what week this is. It's like 13 or 14. But, I don't really say the week anyway. I'm Sam, Flying Kite. I reviewed, Baghead. And if you get a chance to watch it, I think you should. It was pretty solid. And, I mean, I think if anyone were to not like this movie, it'd probably just be them not in the mood for it. I've only seen this movie one time, and that was last night. Not like last night, you know, of when this comes out. This is gonna come out like 2 weeks from now, roughly. But I only saw this movie once. So, yeah, I mean, pretty solid movie, and just think that this guy hasn't done anything else since is kind of interesting. I mean, like, it's a 5.4 out of 10, but, like, I'm really trying to think of how this movie could be a, you know, a 5 out of 10. I feel like this movie is more of like a 6 or a 7 out of 10, honestly. But only because of, like, well, you know, the CGI, and I'm sure there's some dialogue stuff that's like, oh, okay. Or there's some things that they don't do that they probably should have done. But I don't know, I feel like it is pretty good at an hour and 34 minutes, and I don't know if it would be better or worse if it was longer. Because I do like when movies are longer, but then again, sometimes if it's a long movie, Maybe it could have been shorter, like Skinamarink could have been shorter, but anyway. I will see y'all next week. Or maybe Sunday. Depends. Well, actually, I don't know. I will at least see you next Friday. Goodbye.